You're watching episode 7. I guess this is a vlog now. Raining buckets. Welcome to the next episode of the Australia road trip. Here we'll be picking up where we left off last time, right after Peter had just departed and Martin and I had just left to start our leg of the trip on our own. This first bit of recording right here is of the windshield after I had just had a new one put in. It was the second new windshield I had purchased after breaking the first one, but there was a previous video made about that, but this is the second one after what you saw in a previous episode. And now I've got a clear view of everything. It's freshly been resealed, and look at this. We're in the rain on our way back to the hotel, and we're both very happy to have a properly working windshield where we can use our windshield wipers and drive in peace with no water dripping on us. For once, this was actually good news. Though it wasn't all smooth sailing, on our way back as the rain cleared up, I actually managed to get a speeding ticket while driving through one of these little town areas. My vehicle had been woefully underpowered and, well, grossly incapable of speeding to the point of frustration, given that the speed limit is 130 kilometers an hour in most of the Northern Territory, but with my foot on the floor, the Land Cruiser would barely do 100. But as it turns out, while the speed limit dropped to 100 entering a town with some police doing a speed trap, it was also downhill. So it was the only circumstance in which my vehicle was even capable of speeding, and then I got the ticket there. I even told them, this can't be right, this thing can't speed, and they probably thought I was lying. Anyway, I got that paid in the coming weeks, and, well, now it's in the past. But these points sure do add up quick in Australia. The points being accumulative demerits against your license. That night on our drive, we found some death adders. This area was actually super thick with death adders. They became the most common snake that we saw during the trip, which is pretty nuts. Normally they're considered to be a pretty rare find. You can see here where he's flattened out, showing the color between his scales in a defensive posture. It was pretty weird just how quick the rain would come and go.
Getting into the rainy season out here. Territory. We just stopped where it's raining buckets. I'm thoroughly soaked. We saw a lot of cool frogs though. Mating and calling, so that was neat. Wish I could have got more footage of it, but
need waterproof cameras.
Probably time to get out of here, yeah. He didn't even get out his camera. I soaked my camera. I took one for the team.
I'm surprised I don't have more footage from this night. It was pretty productive over there in the Northern Territory with lots of death adders, not to mention the calling frogs I was talking about. But I think some of the footage, along with pictures, are on my main camera for getting photographs for Instagram and things. And right now I'm just editing on my phone, so I don't have access to those. I'll probably bring back like a throwback episode later with the best bits of things that didn't work their way into other episodes, and there should be lots of neat footage coming again. This was the next morning. We had driven down from our accommodations to the local pub to pick up a feed, and as you can see, it was still raining buckets. It was a real off and on type of affair up here. It would just build up moisture in the air and then just pour down and then just repeat. And every now and then you'd have pretty clear weather in between. Kind of a weird experience. Here's a Burton's legless lizard that we found. We actually found some interesting variants of these guys up there, with bright yellow tails and different markings along their sides. Here we had managed to cruise up on yet another animal. Can you guess what it is?
So now my video was off when he struck.
That's right, it's a death adder. Something that normally you don't find too commonly, but was very abundant during this trip.
Pose right there.
Oh, did you see that?
Best
These
pose
guys are
ever.
lightning quick, but he just had a little go at the handle end of my snake hook when I was prodding him, trying to encourage him to have a strike. I'll play it again. And there it is, blink and you'll miss it. It's said that these guys could strike, bite, recoil, strike, bite, and recoil back to their starting position all over again in one blink of an eye. Luckily, in my experience, they're generally pretty reluctant snakes to bite. I mean, if you spend enough time pissing them off, they certainly will, but, I would hope most people aren't doing that. So most bites come down to people stepping on them accidentally at the wrong time, because they like to hide in leaf litter and soft sand. So if you're walking around barefoot, you step on one, the snake thinks you've attacked it, and then it goes to defend itself. Later that night, arriving back at our accommodation, there was this overhang on the car park with a light underneath it, and swarming around that were a bunch of male and female elate termites on their nuptial flight. They're all very small right now, but after they mate and settle down to form their colonies, the female's gaster will swell to an extraordinary size and look like a completely different creature, much more like what you will have seen on Nat Geo or the Discovery Channel. After this, we switched accommodations to actually being in Darwin proper, and things got gross. You can see here a container out of our food drawer that was really nasty, so I just threw
there's a big one
most
going
of
through
the
the
stuff
little
out,
ones.
basically. And then we stripped the carpet out of the drawers and lined them with rubberized paint and pond liner that I got from the hardware store to prevent moisture from building up so that we don't have this problem again. This was crazy disgusting. I really hate maggots. It's funny, I like most animals that other people don't, but maggots just definitely rub me the wrong way. As you can see, I was taking no chances. I filled all the latches we had before with silicone and rubberized painted all the carpet on the top, so now I had to re-drill new attachment points since the old ones weren't usable, but that's a sacrifice worth making, because, ugh. And I'll leave you with me making a lucky find. I realized I forgot my wallet and went back to get it, and here it was. A rather common theme for me. I've left my wallet too many places, but at least I've been lucky that it's normally there. Oh yeah, and one last little fun fact / tidbit. My phone is full of videos like this one, with some sort of object diagonally crossing the frame and nothing of any interest happening. These are clips I've taken purely for the purpose of ripping background audio from them for putting into other clips where the background audio isn't usable. So it's just me awkwardly standing there, holding something diagonally across frame, trying not to make any noise with my feet, my arms, or breathing, or anything. And all too often, I wind up being too lazy to properly rip the audio and insert it anyway. It's made harder by the app I use on my phone to do this stuff anyway. In the future, I'll be using more proper audio. I figured this might be an interesting bit of information to include, seeing as these episodes being produced on my phone now are turning more into behind-the-scenes anecdotes / vlogging type videos, more so than the really heavily produced about the animal stuff that I had wanted to make that will be coming later in the future. Based on the files I have left to go through on my phone, it's looking like this series of episodes made on my phone for this road trip is only going to be about 8 strong, so the next one after this should be the real last one. So stay tuned for that. Not that I'm promising it's going to be any better. Anyway, bye till next time, and as always, thanks for watching.